And this person is a literal nobody, and they are coming on the internet to talk about all the things wrong with Taylor Swift's voice.
Everybody has the First Amendment right to come to their platforms and to be able to say their thoughts, feelings, opinions, emotions, critiques, and criticisms under the First Amendment. If it's not lies that amount to defamation, threats, slander, libel, threatening of yourself or someone else, then it doesn't cross into the territory of verbal crime. Then it's covered under free speech. Trying to report people's videos and hit them below the belt where you think it's going to hurt them the most, aka monetization, when they've never been monetized. Just to let you know, poor people have never had money, so they don't miss it because you can't miss something you've never had. And you really don't care if your videos get reported on TikTok anymore because TikTok has been trashed since January 19th of 2025. Thus, choosing not to monetize on this platform. But fundamentally, here's the problem. You are simultaneously placing greater value on Taylor Swift while devaluing somebody else by calling them a nobody. Here's a reality for you. Everybody is a nobody. Taylor Swift is a nobody. I'm a nobody. You're a nobody. Taylor Swift is not more important or more valuable because a bunch of nobodies tried to place that value on her. It also doesn't make her a better vocalist or a musician. It also doesn't make her deserving of anything that she has. Accolades, money, celebrity connections. And people are allowed to have their opinions. But how easily and how quickly you forget that Taylor Swift wouldn't have this false perception of being somebody with greater value than everybody else in America, 340 million American citizens, 8 billion people across 195 countries, across 7 continents, if it wasn't for a whole bunch of nobodies falsely giving her ego the sense that she is more valuable. She's not. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In 100 years from now, the same thing that's going to be left of Taylor Swift is going to be the same thing that's left of you or I. And also, just so you know, musical artists who rely on male producers to help write, mix, produce all of the music, they are not more important or more talented than any college-educated artist, especially somebody who's multifaceted. The difference is capitalizing off of that, quote, art, unquote. But placing greater value on a celebrity that you don't even know, to the point where you report real people based on a crazy, psychotic, parasocial relationship, is not only bonkers, it's what people have been saying for Taylor's whole career. It's a marketing and a PR strategy. It always has been. And I don't care if you're Taylor Swift, if you're the King of England, if you're the Emperor of Japan, or if you're the President of the United States of America. Taylor Swift is not more valuable or more important than me, than you, than anybody. And thus, how quickly you forget that if it wasn't for a whole bunch of nobodies, Taylor Swift wouldn't have this so-called value that you place upon her. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what amount of money or fame or connections that she has access to. It doesn't make her more talented. It doesn't make her a better person. It doesn't make her happy, and it certainly does not make her more important or more valuable. Speaking for myself only, I'm here for a reason, because God allowed me to survive cancer. God walked beside me as I walked through all 9 layers of hell through the last 39 years of my life. I, just like the people that you report, have that right. I know exactly how Taylor Swift got to where she is. I watched her entire career, even as an objective non-fan or non-hater. But the difference is most nobodies are not born a Nepo baby to a father that is worth several million and has not only the whole entire Swift group, but works for Merrill Lynch. A girl that was too busy to do her own homework because she wanted to make it in music and did not even go to college. Thinks legitly is a proper word. So who are they? They're nobodies? Who are you? You're a nobody. Who am I? I'm a nobody. Who's Taylor Swift? A nobody. But you're not going to make people be quiet, saying their thoughts, feelings, expressions, opinions, critiques, and criticisms just because you don't like them. Because it makes you have to challenge and face the fact that maybe they're right. Maybe they have a valid point. Maybe Hollywood, the movie, and the music industry is all rigged. That's why you don't see talented, hardworking people get the recognition that they deserve. And you see mediocre people like Taylor Swift, who is very much insecure and aware that she cannot sing or make music. She relies on men to do that for her. Even her lyrics are based off of the bones of men. Even her business aspects is all handled by her father and her brother. She did not go to college or study business. She can't be this helpless little baby who just doesn't know what is going on and is always the victim of everything. And in the same breath, be this cutthroat businesswoman who didn't even go to college. The misunderstanding of Shakespeare and the fate of Ophelia, thinking that if a man just came and saved her from drowning, that would change anything. That's not how she got there to begin with. People like me, now we can sympathize with Ophelia, but people like Taylor misunderstand it because she can't. In fact, she has a power dynamic now, especially over her own father, her own brother, and her own fiance. Not vice versa. And it's so funny now that she finally found a man to actually say to her, I love you, I want to marry you, have my babies, which is the one part of Taylor Swift's life that I'm always like really, really, really happy for. I want her to be happy because it's very obvious with her borderline personality disorder type obsession with men her entire career that is what she's always wanted. She's always wanted to have the knight in shining armor, the prince on the valiant steed come and rescue her and save her, live forever and ride off into the sunset. And she wants her fans to leave her the F alone. And she would give it all up for love, for just Travis. But you know what's funny is that Travis is not attracted to her because she has nothing and gave it all up. The opposite, he's attracted to her because of the fame, wealth, and connections that she has. And eventually, after being married, even if they do have kids, he's going to start to loathe and resent her fame because he's going to realize very quickly, very much like Gypsy Rose and Ryan Anderson, that being married to somebody that has that much attention, fame, connections, or wealth doesn't necessarily mean it's your connections, fame, or wealth. That's why I have always said, people that are in Hollywood, people that are in the music industry, you have to be narcissistic or sociopathic in some kind of way, shape, or form to get to that level and stay at that level, especially knowing that you're not talented and you're mediocre and the whole world can see that. That doesn't take just blinders and wool. That takes psychological egoism, megalomania, to pursue it anyway, regardless. But that's what happens when you're 11 years old and you stomp your feet and you throw temper tantrums in your mom and dad's house because you want to be a musician, and not just any musician. You want to be famous. And now Taylor Swift, a nobody, just like you or I, loathes and resents all the other nobodies until it benefits her. Why do you think she manipulates and gaslights you Swifties so much? Because you are ignorant enough to let her. And that's your right. You don't see anybody reporting you because that's your right to buy her albums and support her. So the hypocrisy is rife, especially somebody talking about being on the left and then calling everybody else on the left crazy when you're doing the same exact thing, but trying to make it make sense. Trying to legitimize it while calling people nobodies and devaluing and belittling other people. That doesn't make Taylor Swift any less mediocre or any more talented or deserving. Just like all other nobodies don't deserve their circumstances, don't deserve their trials and tribulations. But here we are.